Hi, this is the fourth movie review of childhood films. I mean, you could put it down to the fifth one after I reviewed Happy Gilmore 2, but that's a recent film. But this is the fourth childhood review of movies after, Johnson and Monster, Jaws the Revenge, and Savannah Smiles. And anyway, this is a movie that is, of all the movies from my childhood, this is the most important one. Yeah, we all know this film. And people my age all love this film. Everyone knows this film who's my age. And yeah, it's I might as well just get into it. It's the Goonies, and this is the original video I had back in the early 90s. And yeah, this one here came from Declan Lockman's store again in Castleblaney. And you can see the tape is all like there's white stuff around there. You can see that. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's a bit of a, yeah, the reflection of the light. But yeah, you can see all that white stuff there. It's very old. And it's at the very start of the film right there. You can see on the tape. And yeah, just open it up there now. Just there's no white stuff or anything like that there. Just I can't remember the last time I played this actual video. I suppose when I was a kid, I guess. It's really, really old, from the early 90s. I even took the sticker right here, £1.50 a night. Extra stretch, 2-night rental, 3-day film hire. I remember those days. Yeah, they used to do that with the stickers. You can see it right there. I know it's backwards, but you know. But yeah, so I took that off. When I was going into Extravision and all that, I would have taken it off some video I would have rented. And sometimes with videos, when you're renting them out in the 90s, sometimes they put it in a little plastic case and they put the video in there and they give it to you. But sometimes they give you the whole box. Sometimes they did that, but sometimes they just put it in the plastic casing. So like if I was given like something like this, like the whole video, I would have just taken the sticker off and just kept it as a little trophy, I guess. And I would have put it on the Goonies video. This was never a rented one. This was something I actually bought. This was never fucking something I rented. Like I said, I got it from this place called Declan Lockman's store. It's a sticker right there. And he did the sport and stuff. I mentioned him in this shop in other videos, like of Savannah Smiles and Jaws the Revenge. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I never rented that. So this was bought for whatever price it was. My parents would have bought it for me, I guess, or maybe I bought it pocket money. I don't remember. The first time I saw Goonies, I don't think it was when I got this video. When I was living in Castleblaney at the time, I had my best friend at the time called Paul, and he had a load of videos in his place in the early 90s, 91, 92. So, yeah, he would have had he had the Lost Boys, the Goonies, and RoboCop or whatever, I don't know if I had RoboCop, actually. Another guy that lived behind me and in another house had RoboCop, and yeah, I'll maybe talk about that in a minute. But anyway, Paul, he had Goonies taped off the TV, and I believe he gave me the video. I don't know, for rent, to have a hold, to have a loan, or to keep. But anyway, I got the video. I remember watching it. Some of it was cut off. I remember there was a certain scene where Data, Kihu Kwan, he's running towards, let's get going, you guys. The whole fucking thing comes down when Andy's playing the piano. You know the scene? That part, anyway, yeah, I remember that was cut off at that point, and I only saw like 3/4 of the movie. I got to see that, and then that. I remember probably that. I think that was the first time I ever saw the Goonies. I think it was probably from his video. I think so. And then not long after, I got this video here, the one I just mentioned. Yeah, it's going back now. So yeah, I would have gotten that video back in the early '90s, obviously. Um, yeah. Anyway, what was I talking about? The Lost Boys. Um, no, I wasn't talking about the Lost Boys. Sorry, RoboCop. RoboCop. Yeah, there was another fella who lived behind me. And he lived in a house behind my house. He was about my age, or maybe he was a year older. I don't remember. His name was Edwin. Um, I know it's a bit of a strange first name. I've never heard anyone call that before or since. Anyway, me and Edwin, I went over to his house, and I was about 7 years old. So I just moved to Casablanca from Ballybay, and he had the video of RoboCop, which was only about 4 years old at that point, around then. So RoboCop came out in 1987, and this was 1991. So yeah, 4 years. Anyway, I went into his house. This is the only time I remember being in this house. I might have been in there again. I don't remember, but I remember watching RoboCop there. And I know it's kind of going off talking about the Goonies, but just this is an interesting memory for me as well because it was around the same time. So yeah, we watched RoboCop, and I remember like we were kids, like we were watching it, like, and like it was crazy. I remember the guy getting shot in the balls. I remember like RoboCop takes out the gun, like the other guy is like, what does he say now? You better back up, pal, because he's gonna kill her. And then basically RoboCop has this, zooming thing, and he shoots right through the woman's dress and hits the guy in the balls, and he's bleeding to death. Like, and the other fella's like, like, oh my god, like it's okay, it's no problem, it's okay. And the other fella's on the ground screaming. I do remember that so well. Um, that's the most part I remember when I first saw it. It was like, Jesus, shocking, but it's like really like cool, like because it's brilliant, like we were kids like watching that film, like like watching all those great films like that and the Terminator and all. Like I saw all those films when I was a kid, Terminator 2 especially, because that was out in '91. So like anyway, sorry, I'm getting so distracted here because I'm talking about the Goonies. Now there's a photograph I came across here of myself on Facebook. Well, you probably can't see it very well. Maybe I'll move the camera. Yeah, maybe I'll see it better. This is me from when I was about 9 or something like that. Maybe you can't really see it too well. No, no. It's a bit difficult to record this. Anyway, that's myself and my sister Catherine in the background. Me holding the Goonies. Yeah, around 92. Um, that was in Casablanca. It was a cassette tape. I remember very well Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk in the Goonies. I was going to say Mouth. That's a different actor, but yeah. Anyway, he played Chunk in the Goonies, and he's doing the voiceover on a cassette tape, and he's talking about like he's in character talking about like him and Mikey and all that and stuff like that. Going to look for the jeez, so long since I watched it. But yeah, going to look for One-Eyed Willie's treasure. You know. So yeah, I'm still looking at it here, and there's a book here. I remember the book. Jesus. I think I still actually have that cassette tape somewhere lying around. The book, I don't know whatever happened to that, and that little paper, you can't see it there. Yeah, but anyway, the paper thing that's in my other hand. I don't know whatever happened to that, but then I think I still have that cassette tape. I didn't see this picture until I don't know, sometime in the 2000s. So I didn't see it when I was a little kid. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a great film. I remember when I was like that age, 7, 8, 9. I remember going on these little things called Goonie Adventures. Like I brought my nephew. He was like 5 years younger than me, 4 5 years younger than me. My nephew Danny, and when he came over from London, and when I lived in Casablanca, I lived in a house that was kind of like a wooded area at the back. So like how do I put it now? You go in there and it's like you're going down a ditch, and it bring you past a few other houses, and then through like this like at the time a forestry area, which is now a built up area of houses now, because I've been back there since then. I left Casablanca in '94, but like at the time it was all just like forestry area and trees and stuff like that. So so yeah, it was interesting. It was kind of like you're going through this like little tunnel of all this like adventures, because a child's imagination, you have all this like mad wild imagination is bigger than what it actually is. So like it looks like what I mean. You can look at it now as an adult and think, well, no, it doesn't look very interesting. But as a kid, it's like mad. It's really, really big. So like, it's much bigger in the child's mind than it would be for an adult's mind. And so yeah, so I did that with my nephew and my sister Catherine. At the time, she was in her 20s, and she was interested in doing things like that. So she probably got involved in jumping on little Goonie adventures. Like I remember her later on telling me that she did Goonie adventures like with people. Maybe I don't know who, but maybe a boyfriend or something. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like you do those little like fun adventures like when you're a kid. I mean, the imagination is really, really wild, of course. But so is the movie The Goonies. I mean, the imagination, like of a bunch of kids that are going to look for the long lost treasure of One Eyed Willie. Bunch of kids in Oregon, in America, and yeah, they're going to search for the treasure. I don't need to tell you the story, this film. But yeah, I mean, where they shot that in Oregon, where was it now? Astoria. I've seen videos of it, and it's always gloomy looking. It's always cloudy and rainy, kind of like Ireland. It looks the same as Ireland. I mean, it doesn't look very appealing at all to go to. I have no interest in going there because the weather is just the same as here, basically. It just has. But yeah, I've seen videos of people and the actors in the film going up to the Goonies house. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't need to promote this film in any way. Like, there's nothing to talk about, really. I mean, everyone knows this film. Everyone knows how good it is and how great it is to remember, and the music is amazing. John Williams, I believe, isn't it? Does it say here? I think it's John Williams. Doesn't say it on the thing. I think it is. Could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, Spielberg, Chris Columbus, and of course Richard Donner, who directed it. He died a couple of years ago, and I just hope they never make a sequel. They should just leave it as is. It's a prized possession. You know what I mean? Don't touch the gold. Leave the gold alone. That's my thing. That's what I come up with. Now just leave it alone. Just let us kids, who grew up with that film, just have our memories of it. Don't ruin it by making a sequel or a remake or a reboot or anything. Just leave it alone. Just let our childhoods just enjoy the magic of that movie. I'm sure people my age would agree with that. People of maybe other age would probably agree with that as well. But certainly, people my age, I'm sure, grew up with this film, would definitely agree with that. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I didn't know what to talk about when making this film. There's so much I could say. I mean, I could talk about the actors in it. I could talk about, the set designs. I could talk about the script. I could talk about the direction or anything like that. I don't know what else to say really. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor, and later on, I was an actor for a while, and then I just, stepped away from that. But yeah, Goonies is definitely one of the films that made me want to be an actor. You know, um, hmm. I could have been maybe an adventurous like fucking Indiana Jones, who's also done by Spielberg. Want to go out in adventures and stuff like that. But no, I just want to be an actor. But I don't know. I might get back into it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the Goonies. I don't need to promote it. Like I said, great film. God, I mean, it smells old because I had it out in my garage in my family home for 20 odd years or something like that. It smells kind of not great. It smells bad. but only when you open up the casing and you open it up and smell the inside. Which in the past, like I think I talked about in another video. You open it up, there's always a nice little smell sometimes. Like if you put it in a press that's like got a nice smell to it or something like that. Or you could just. Well, I didn't when I was a kid. I sometimes sprayed it like with a spray, close it over, put it away, and then take it out the next day or the next couple of days, open it up again. You get the nice smell coming right up your nose. For some reason, it was just nice. And yeah, you put your video in, and but yeah, I mean the Goonies. I mean it's everyone's childhood, but for me personally, it's just it was the best movie I ever watched as a child. It's my favorite movie of all time as a child. I haven't watched the whole film in a long, long time because I kind of watched it too many times to kind of ruined it for myself. Watching it too many times to leave myself with really nothing to enjoy. I guess I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just watched it far too many times. Not this video necessarily. Probably this video as well, but I've watched it like online and on DVD and stuff like that. I had it on DVD and anyway, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Not much more to say than that. Like I said, I don't need to promote the film. Obviously, I just want to talk about my childhood memories of my favorite film as a child of all time, and that's number one, and it'll always be number one, obviously. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that.